More like Bad Sabumski. Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Pregame show live from the Toyota Lounge, powered by your Front Range Toyota dealerships. The Avs taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning at home. It's on TNT, so you better believe the start is extremely late because that's the rules. That's how it's got to be. Rudo, J-Mike coming to you live. Tampa, you were saying just before we went live, 5-game winning streak. So the Avs are going up against a bit of a hot team here, but no excuses. Avs got to win some games.
First of all, they just want the suspense to build. TNT loves drama. Everybody knows that. But yeah, this is a big opportunity, right? On home ice. They've had a couple of these premier matchups at Ball Arena in the early portion of the season. You've had some struggles, is probably a bit of an exaggeration, but you've had some stumbles at the very least. And now you've got a red-hot Tampa team who's obviously been one of the faces of the league now, going back really like over a half decade.
An entire decade, honestly.
You got to show up on national TV.
You gotta win games like this with some regularity. The reality is the Avs are one of the top teams in the NHL, and so they get a lot of national games. They get a lot of late starts. They get a lot of all this, that, and the other thing that you can't let affect you, and you have to prove that you deserve to be here. And Avs are the top team in the NHL right now. They've proved plenty, even if you don't like some of the overtime losses, but nobody cares about what you did 2 weeks ago. The NHL is a what have you done for me lately league, and you beat Tampa, you've done something lately.
And honestly, old men like me, grumps, can complain about the late starts, but it's a 10 p.m. start for Tampa, so the Avs really have no excuses.
Right. And if anything, it should be an advantage for Colorado in some respect, right? Because Tampa's on a little 3-game road trip. They were in Utah the other day. The altitude should be affecting them. A 10 p.m. start, I don't care who you are. If your body rhythms get thrown off, weird stuff can happen. With Colorado, an hour later game shouldn't be that big of a difference. But
yeah, I mean, my body pattern gets thrown off. I struggle to get out of bed, let alone go play a 2.5-hour hockey game against Colorado.
Look, I just don't have a pattern, all right? I sleep at all hours of the day.
You are I work a lot, but there are times I think about that of like, oh, I'm wrapping up my late night writing. It's like 12:30. I'm like, Rudo's probably just getting started on some like crazy YouTube breakdown.
Yeah, those 3 a.m. posts come out pretty regularly for me, but I also at 11 a.m. you'll find me still asleep.
Like chugging caffeine. How do you exist?
You just don't have a circadian rhythm at all. It's for years my sleep schedule would just bounce all over the place. I don't know. I'll probably die young. It's fine.
Well, hopefully you have a fun hockey game to break down. It's always a little bit easier when we're staying up breaking down
give me a good
game.
I'm tired of breaking down nonsense goals. Give me like actual high skill tonight. That's what I want.
I want the top guys to show out in this one. I mean, you have it in the notes. You can't have back-to-back quiet performances. Kind of a frustrating, sluggish game against San Jose. This is, best on best. This is an opportunity and we've said this maybe too frequently at the beginning of the season, but it's a statement opportunity.
Yeah, I think for your top pairing, especially, Makar and Toews were not very good against San Jose, and the Avs forwards, of course, you need that top line to be good every night, but when they have an off night, there's more getting away with it for Colorado. You have a second line that can show up. Your depth has been quite good this year in your forward core, but there are no real replacements for Cale Makar and Toews. Not that your second pairing's bad. That's not what I'm saying, but they do stuff that, frankly, no other pairing in the NHL does, and the Avs need that every single night. So you follow up a bad game, it has to be, I wouldn't even say good. You really want that top pairing to be great tonight.
What didn't you like about what you saw from Makar and Toews specifically?
A couple of things. One, Makar just struggled to be particularly dangerous offensively in that game. I know both Makar and Toews assisted on the first Natchez goal, but that's kind of a silly redirect goal that just is fortunate to get. On the defensive side, though, there looked to be a bit of miscommunication between the two of them on exactly what the coverages look like, particularly teams rushing through on the blue line. You had both of them cheating high on the blue line on the second goal, where Toews does get picked, and that's unfortunate. But if Makar is laying off a little bit more, maybe you don't end up with a clean breakaway against you. The first goal, this is more so just Makar. Toews does get caught a little bit at the blue line, but he's getting back effectively, and Makar doesn't recognize Nichushkin is covering the far wall, so Makar just leaves a huge gap to Macklin Celebrini. If you leave that gap to Nikita Kucherov tonight, guess what? He's probably going to score.
Is that just a matter of not being locked in and, a weird matinee game?
I think that's some of it, for sure. Even the best players in the world have mortal nights. It happens. But you can't continue to do that out of your top pairing, especially because of the way the Avs are built. Their second pairing, again, I think has been pretty good. Brent Burns' production has been great. But you're talking about a pairing of Manson and Burns right now with Girard out that is very prone to making big mistakes. And you're going to live with some of that. It's going to happen. But if your second pairing and your top pairing are both making big mistakes, now you're starting to compound an issue that becomes hard to dig yourself out of. So it might not be fair, but your top pairing has to play pretty perfect.
Stylistically, how do you kind of feel about these guys going into this matchup? I mean, what kind of pace do you expect from Tampa?
It's interesting, and we can bring up our stat pack for this as well, actually, because historically Tampa has been a high-octane team. These are two teams that will go punch for punch up and down the ice, but this year, we've seen Tampa turn into a much more efficient scoring unit where they're not generating a ton and they're not giving up a ton. Now, part of that is Andrei Vasilevsky has not been particularly good this year, so Tampa has to lock things down a little bit more defensively. You can see Tampa's high danger save percentage, one of the worst in the league, so they really need to give up few opportunities there, especially against a team like the Avs, who are the best in the league at generating high danger chances at 5-on-5. But realistically, when you look at these two teams, the stats that track the most are they don't give up a ton. Actual shots on goal given up by both of these teams, really, really strong numbers. We're talking about top 10 defensive teams in the league. Really, there should be some advantageous opportunities for the Avs here. They're the better possession team. They're significantly better at 5-on-5. Both of these teams are terrible on their power play, so hopefully that doesn't factor in too much today. The Avs should have an opportunity to impose their will a little bit more on this game than I think people might expect, and if they do that, they should win.
Could be a game then where special teams are key, though.
I think I should probably say this. The Avs can't lose the special teams battle tonight. Tampa's power play is worse than theirs to this point in the season, which is impressive. So you would love your power play to pop off and win, but just where we're at in the season, what the Avs power play has been, I can't have the expectation that it's going to be the difference maker for the Avs, but you certainly can't lose that battle.
I know you guys have these conversations on a daily basis, but just maybe for those who aren't able to tune into every single show, what are your thoughts on the current direction of the power play? Because obviously, every night's not going to be a week ago where you're exploding for 5-4 power play goals, whatever it was. But what do you feel like in terms of the process? What are you seeing right now? Do you like what they're doing? It's
hard. At times it looks dangerous. At times it looks bad. There's a couple things that I think stand out. One, I would love to see a game where the Avs get more than two opportunities. Going 0 for 2 on a night is just... It's hard to be upset about that, even if you do want the Avs to score more.
It's just not a big enough sample size.
Right. Yeah. It's not enough to even really get in a rhythm on it at any given night. But I think the Avs' biggest problem is actually too much choice on their entries right now. We've come to expect a very high percentage of quality entries because Nathan MacKinnon just is him when it comes to that. Marty Nate is also great at them. But at times it feels like the Avs are getting too in their own head where, we're going to set up this triple drop pass into a pass at the blue. Stop trying to do too much. Get in the zone and go play hockey.
Sometimes just get the puck on net. It's it's not rocket science.
Yes, exactly. You cannot score if you pass. Put it to you that way.
Do you like what they're doing? Like, why do you feel they're not generating those power play opportunities? Is there something they could change in that aspect, or is it just kind of how the whistle has gone of late?
Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot there other than just on some nights refs aren't going to blow the whistle. Like the Avs had been and are still in the top 10 as far as generating power play opportunities. We've just stepped through a couple of games where the reffing has been, I don't even want to say bad necessarily, but they're marking that consistency level at we're going to let a lot of stuff go.
I mean, as long as it's the same both ways, you can live with it.
Yep.
Excuse me. Should we get to Bedsy?
Yeah, let's hear from Bednar. It was a pretty brief one, as Bedsy often likes to do after losses. When the Avs are good, he'll give you the 8-10 minute interview, and it's like, let's talk about anything. And then today, I think it's 4 minutes 20 seconds or some 4:20 shout out. It looks like we're still loading up the video. So while we are waiting for Bedsy, I do think. Well, I'm curious to see what decisions Bedsy makes as far as TOI usage tonight. Mm-hmm. You have another rookie playing his first NHL game coming in on the fourth line. You have a third line that is, you could make an argument for one of the best third lines in the league. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about them in a minute. But against a team like Tampa, I do think there will be some opportunities for, as much as you want your top guys to be the man, you could find success elsewhere too.
Who are some guys that you kind of have an eye on in that aspect?
I mean, if we're going to beat the dead horse, Brock Nelson, it's got to be. The Avs, when you look at their top six compared to Tampa's top six, Tampa has a really good top six forward core. You have a Braden Point that can score at will. Kucherov's great. Gensel, great. On the back end side, not even back end, but defensive side, Anthony Cirelli, one of the best two-way forwards in the game. There's a lot there that the second line has to live up to tonight. So it's going to be them every night. There's more than that, but it looks like Bednar is ready to go. So let's hear from Bedsy.
Just a reminder to raise your hand. I'll call on you for questions. Start us off calling.
Yes.
Go ahead.
With Blackwood, so can you confirm, did he have surgery before the season?
He had a procedure done after the season.
After the season,
Yeah.
after training camp started, or?
No, after last season, yeah.
And that was a lower body thing?
Lower body, yes.
And then how are you seeing him just kind of acclimate back into practice and obviously the game?
Yeah, he's getting there. He's getting there. Obviously, he's a little bit rusty, missed most of training camp. He's been working kind of on his own. We were lacking, team practice time at this point. So that's why I think this week will be really good for him. Practice yesterday. He gets some work in today. We're practicing again tomorrow and Friday. So most practices we've had all year. So I think that will help him get, sort of used to some game situations, and then he'll be ready to go for the weekend again.
Megan, then calling.
Will Tristan Nielsen make his NHL debut tonight?
He will,
What
yeah.
have you heard about him and seen from him going back to preseason?
Yes, similar reports from the Eagles as we saw from him in preseason. I really liked his game. He was highly effective. He found a way to not only play physical in a straight line sort of power forward game, but he also showed flashes of skill and was able to produce throughout the exhibition season in training camp. So we really liked him. Obviously converted his AHL contract to an NHL contract, and he's in the mix to be called up when we need players. So we got a good look at Cale Makar the other day, and now we're going to take a look at Tristan. And so excited for him.
Calling.
What are you looking at facing the Tampa Bay Lightning tonight?
I mean, it's a good team, hottest team in the league right now. Really stingy defensively. Got out to a slow start, but have obviously found their stride. And so, same as always against them, high-end skilled players can put the puck in the net, and they're defending really well right now. So it should be a good contest tonight.
Right.
Question going back to Blackwood. I know he showed up to one of the optional skates on September 5th, late in the skate, and was taking shots with some of the AHL guys. And then the reps started to get less and less over the next couple of days. Did he have any complications from that?
Well, he was slow moving with his rehab, throughout the whole course this summer. He got on the ice early August, and things weren't feeling as good as what they probably should have been. So we reevaluated him. He got looked at by a couple different people, and they kind of changed his rehab for, and gave us a new timeline on his return. So no real complications since that point, though.
Brian?
Jared, you've had lots of wins already in the games that you haven't won. You get points in the overtime. The power play hasn't worked for you. How do you handle that as a coach, especially with your top players? Because frustration, those guys get frustrated real fast. Do you back off, let them just wait for the cycle to go up again, or how do you handle that?
A little bit of both. I think our guys, number one, have done a real nice job not letting the frustration of the power play leak into their 5-on-5 play. Like, you look at the guys that are playing most of the power play time, Cale, Marty, Mac, are all out to really good starts this season, especially 5-on-5. PP showed flashes of being real good and some downturns in there as well, so a little bit inconsistent. They know it's a work in progress, so we haven't had to manage it real tightly yet, because we've had some stretches of games where we haven't created a bunch of power play opportunities. Like, it's won a game, and so it's kind of hard to evaluate. We'd like to see them stick around. We've changed it once. We'd like to see this group sort of stick together and kind of work through it a little bit, and I think they are. So, so far it's been a pretty light hand when it comes to the power play, just giving them information and letting them kind of get some chemistry.
Okay. Thank you, Jared.
Yep, thank you.
Look, Bedsy keeping it pretty simple there. He kind of echoed some of the stats I was talking about. Tampa's a team that is going to try and lock it down on you, and my hope is that the Avs can break that more than have to fight through it. But if you're in that grudge match, grinded out game, you just got to find a way.
I wonder if Landy could get one tonight. Feels like he's due.
I've wondered that for, what is it, game 14?
Yeah.
I've wondered that for 13 games so far.
About a month, give or take.
I mean, he has looked a lot better these last couple of games.
That's what I mean. Like,
I would say, yeah. So maybe there's something in there for him. I'm down to believe.
The vibes would be great. I mean, he hasn't, as somebody pointed out in the Toyota chat here, be his first game against the Lightning since the Cup win.
True. He knows a little something about taking care of that business against the Lightning.
Get the vibes going, get the spirits right.
A good point that it is on home ice too, right? The Avs would love to make their lives easier and ride some of that home crowd energy. The Avs have long talked about, especially when they start well, the crowd vibe, they just ride all the time at Ball Arena. And they are a team who technically has not yet lost in regulation at home this year. So, they're not 5-0 or anything, but they're making this building one that shouldn't be easy for teams.
I will say it certainly stands out when you're there in person. The energy is palpable. It's got to be one of the better home ice advantages in the NHL.
Yeah, I agree. Every building is different and has their own quirks, but it's never been a problem in Colorado as far as getting the crowd into games.
When you want to know what I love about it, and objectively, for the sake of transparency, I just don't like the Dallas Stars. I'll put that on the record. I didn't enjoy my time in Dallas as a city. I don't like their fans. I don't like the team. I don't like anything about Dallas, but what I especially hated was being in that arena and the amount of obnoxious, phony noise that they pump in.
Yeah.
Every arena has it. I get it. You play the songs. You're going to do their little dumb chant. But the energy, the noise that you experience in Denver, that's just passion and raw energy from the people. It's not, let's put the speakers on 13 and play this song for 40 seconds.
A total sidebar here, but Dallas getting the outdoor game in 2027. Any interest in the Avs playing in more outdoor games?
I mean, I think from selling the game, that's probably the most fun matchup you could have for it.
Yeah.
I will say having an outdoor game
indoors
kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Like, at that point, why don't you just play in a hockey arena?
Yeah, I don't get it, to be honest. But
like, that makes less sense to me than the outdoor game they're going to do in Florida. Not by a lot.
I mean, it just feels like you're defeating the point of the whole thing. But also, I hate outdoor games, so I'm actually more okay with it being indoors.
What don't you like about them?
The hockey sucks.
I was going to say the quality of play.
Yeah,
The actual hockey.
The actual hockey is bad. The camera angles are bad if you're not there. If you are there,
You can't see.
The number of seats that are actually good to watch the hockey is very low. And don't get me wrong, outdoor games are more than that, right? It's a whole vibe. It's a big party. The whole experience
Yeah,
is
it's the
great.
ambiance.
Yeah.
But it's same deal if you went to like a Final Four in basketball. You're playing a basketball game in the middle of like the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. I think about that. You're in the 700
Yeah,
level,
right.
you know. I think bad call.
No way you're making those whistles from way out on the moon. So
You know, we've I didn't mean to completely derail us there. We've focused
did.
on the forwards a little bit. We've talked about, you know, the middle six as well. What are your thoughts on, you know, between the pipes going into this one?
yeah, Wedgwood going tonight. You know, Bednar alluded to maybe Blackwood still experiencing some soreness, and I do think obviously nothing is 100% sure set in stone with where Blackwood is at, but there have been some murmurings or otherwise that what Blackwood is dealing with this year might mostly just be pain management and something that he has to work through for a significant portion of this season.
That's never fun. The ambiguous.
Right.
Exactly how much is this derailing you?
And so, one, I think you've gotten good enough out of Wedgwood, especially with the Vegas game the other day where you're like, all right, he's back to playing pretty well, that you can afford to maybe give Blackwood a little bit more rest than you expected. But two, he's going to have to play some. You have 3 days off after this.
When would it be legitimately concerning to you to where, you know, he's missing time consistently and it starts getting to a point of like, all right, but is he going to figure it out this year or not?
Yeah, I mean, Wedgwood has already played what? This will be his 12th game.
12th or
12th
13th?
start.
Yeah.
So you have 70 games left. Even if you split that evenly, that would be 36 games left on the schedule for Blackwood. And that would certainly be low. Blackwood is supposed to be the Colorado Avalanche starter. So you really do want Blackwood to be playing more than every other game. And we're early enough in this process that it's not something I'm reading too much into.
New Year's, Valentine's Day.
Right. That's if he's still playing like every third game, or honestly, if he's even playing every other game by the turn of the new year, I think you start to have some questions. But if he is playing 2 out of every 3 by December, then we're not having this conversation.
I hate to say it, and it honestly might just be a completely unrealistic possibility that you'd shoot down anyways, but I mean, at some point, do you explore the possibility of bringing in another guy just from a depth standpoint, or is that where the advantage of having a guy like Minor, who you could call up from Loveland, comes into play?
I mean, it's so hard to say. That really depends on league availability of who's on the block, who's available, what prices can you get guys for. I certainly don't think that's the plan right now. I think the Avs really want Blackwood and Wedgwood to be their 2 goalies, if at all possible. And I don't see any reason that shouldn't be what it is, barring unforeseen stuff.
Whoever it is, can you just deliver a victory in 60 minutes? Because I can't.
That's it.
I wrote it in the newsletter. If you don't subscribe,
You should.
subscribe to the DNVR newsletter. Everything you need to know about Denver sports in your inbox for free every morning. Super short, to the point. One of the things I talked about, though, is I think if they go to overtime tonight, I might just close my eyes and act like, you know, a little kid watching a scary movie who he was too proud to admit he shouldn't be watching. Just, I can't deal with it anymore.
I think I said it on the post game of last game. If you see McKinnon and Natchez out there together in overtime, just turn the TV off. You don't need to watch the rest of the game.
I mean, that's the definition of insanity.
Yep. It's silly.
Why? And I know we don't have to go too long on this because I guarantee you've had this debate with AJ before, but why doesn't it work with those two? Because with the way they skate, 3-on-3, more space, on paper, to me, it seems like the perfect pairing, and it just doesn't play out that way.
I am not trying to be rude. Nathan McKinnon is one of the best players in the world, arguably top 3. on an instinctual level, he understands hockey in a way that very few players do. But he understands hockey in a way where he doesn't even really understand hockey. He's just acting purely off of what feels right. And 3-on-3, when there's that much space on the ice, you need to actually think the game at a high level to find opportunities. And it's not even I'm necessarily saying Nathan MacKinnon doesn't think the game at a high enough level. It's Nathan MacKinnon is one of the best players in the world, and the way he processes the game is, I'm better than everyone.
It's like in real time, he's acting before it's even really.
And at 5-on-5, if Nathan MacKinnon tries to dangle through 3 guys and it doesn't work, you have 4 guys back, and it's not that big of a deal. On 3-on-3, if Nathan MacKinnon tries to dangle through 3 guys, it doesn't work, and he turns over the puck, it's a guaranteed odd man rush the other way every single time.
Optically, I understand that it's hard to take a guy like him off the ice in that situation. Also, the tightrope act that is dealing with an emotional hothead like himself.
Yep.
But out of those 2, if you were to replace one with Nichushkin, for instance, is Nate the guy that shouldn't be out there maybe?
I mean, I think both should be out there, just not together, because you put a player that maybe values puck possession a little bit more with MacKinnon like a Nichushkin, a guy who you trust defensively, because odd man rushes aren't great, but a 3-on-2 with a guy like Nichushkin back, you can limit the damage a team's going to do. With Marty Necas back, he's going to get turnstile, then it becomes a 3-on-1, and you're going to lose. So they just don't gel well together when they don't have the puck. And I get it, like with the puck, they are extremely dangerous. They can just end games. But in any scenario where the puck doesn't go in the net immediately for them, now they're swimming in a world where they're going to struggle. And you can limit that by putting a Nichushkin with a MacKinnon. You can limit that by putting Nelson or Drury with Necas. You can throw Landeskog in there, super responsible defensively. Arturi Lehkonen has been the adult for Nathan MacKinnon since he came here. There are just so many other options that you don't have to do that to yourself.
It is funny the mountains that coaches decide to die on, the stubborn quirks that, because like Bednar, objectively, I've written this, he's the greatest coach in Avalanche history. I don't even really think it's a debate. I was surprised by some of the flack I took for writing that.
Yeah, it's not close.
But every coach has their weird thing. You know, I'm a big Sean Payton guy, and he's fixated with the quick screens and stuff. That's just funny, the weird things that's like, I get it. In theory, I understand exactly what you were trying to do, but in what is actually happening, it's not that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Avs theory is just don't go to overtime anymore, and we don't have to talk about it.
I'll be A-okay with this guy.
Yeah. So hopefully that's the way things break on that front. But I don't know. Are we? Is it time to bust out the crystal ball, J. Mike?
I believe it is. It's time to look into the future. Hopefully, make these fine folks a little bit of money.
I hope we can. Name and number. I am going to go. I want to take a different name because I want the Avs stars to show out, but I'm going to take Jack Drury tonight. I think third line is a good advantage for the Avs in this game. I think Jack Drury has earned a couple more goals. Hopefully he can finish one. Actual score, I hate to say it, but I think we might be in for a low score. I think this might be a 2-1 type of game.
I'm going 3-2 Colorado. Landy breaks through, first goal of the season.
I love it. I hope that is all correct. And we can get into my pregame picks to talk a little bit more about that, as our pregame picks are presented by Bet365, where things are never ordinary. With my actual bets, I did go a tinge more high scoring. I took the Avs to cover at plus 170. I did say under 6 total goals. So, I do still think it'll be the under, but pretty big boosted bet that I don't think is unreasonable. Both MacKinnon and Necas to score, and then Kucherov to score on Tampa's side of things and get plus 1,600 for a bunch of dudes that do score a lot. So, options there as far as the pregame picks are concerned, money-wise.
Might be a little cheesy. Vegas knows what they're doing when it comes to that kind of stuff.
They are smart. They know the lines, but when it hits, it feels good. I mean, I hit a Brent Burns goal for plus 1,100 the other day. It can happen, all right? Okay. Sometimes you make the big money. Hopefully, my pregame picks are in the ballpark at very least. Of course, do your gambling with Bet365 and use the DNVR 365 code when you do. And when you do gamble with them, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. All right. We have about 5 minutes left here as we're wrapping up because this puck drop is so very late thanks to TNT. J. Mike, when you look at this Avs lineup and you compare it to a team like Tampa Bay, it's interesting because I do think the Avs are the deeper team, which the Avs have been reasonably
The case
deep.
most nights.
Yeah, but something feels different this year where I don't know that there's a team in the league that's as deep as the Avs are. And you're working through maybe, you want your second line to score a little bit more. Yeah, your defense is in flux a little bit at times. But almost every night, your expectations out of the Avs bottom six are high. I think it's sustainable.
I mean, we have a decent enough sample size at this point
I'm
of pretty
saying.
high level
Right.
play from, I mean, not just the third line even, but that fourth line. You're getting pretty loud goals and some of
Yep.
these big wins and, just consistent stretches of quality play.
Yep. Third line especially has been crazy for the Avs. Fourth line, I think when you get the version of the fourth line that you really like, it's been quite good.
I mean, that's just bonus Jonas at that point.
Yeah, and Tristan Nielsen making his NHL debut on that line tonight. Super happy that the kid absolutely thinks he deserves the call up and the opportunity, but expectations are minimal from the fourth line tonight because we know Jared Bednar is going to play that line 5 minutes or less. There's just not going to be a lot of opportunity there, but
Especially in a game like this.
I also think it's important to give some of those opportunities. We saw Cale Makar the other day. We get to see Nielsen, and even if you don't get to see very much of them, you get to say, hey, we get to look at these guys at an NHL speed. We get to understand what we have in the farm system for when injuries do inevitably hit beyond the few that the Avs are dealing with right now. We know what options we have, and especially against a team like Tampa, a guy like Nielsen has an opportunity to go out and earn something.
It's the game within the game, right? Like, not only do you have everything that you're trying to factor into the game from a competitive standpoint and just trying to win, but the long game.
Yep.
And, we got to play chess here a little bit too.
As much as you would like to win every game, and not that these ones don't matter, they absolutely do. The Avs would love 2 points tonight to stay at the top of the NHL. But if you are doing some research in November to have the right information in April, it's probably worth it.
Suffer a few lumps here and there.
Yeah, of course. No one's getting through a season clean, whether that be injuries or wins and losses. It's
the paradox of experience, right? You
Yep.
can't get it
Without getting it.
without getting it, and you don't have it until you get the chance.
right. So I do think it's nice to see a guy like Nielsen get up, because for so long it felt like the Avs were stuck in this rut of, well, we're going to call up the veteran guy to fill this role, the dude who has NHL experience. And then, it's like the job market. The entry-level job can't have 2 years of experience required to actually get it, or no one's going to be able to fill that role. So the Avs are doing something that I don't hate in that regard for a team whose development trajectories I have not loved for a very long time.
It's been in a weird spot for a couple years now.
Yeah. And some of that is they're pushing their chips to the table. They know they're in their window, so
Yeah.
they're thinning out that prospect pool, and it is what it is. But that's where guys like Nielsen,
But you do still
Can
have
help
to
you.
think long term to an
Of
extent.
course.
Like, yes, all our chips, Stanley Cup or bust, all the chips are in the center of the table right now. But it doesn't mean that in the back of your mind, you're not still thinking about the game next week.
Yep. All right. I think we are good to get out of here. Any final thoughts, J. Mike?
I just want to see some consistency from, those top pairings like we talked about earlier in the show. Would be great to see the power play, produce and draw a couple penalties. We'll see how the Zebras are calling things tonight, but more than anything, I just want to see Landy get off the snide. He's due.
I'm here for this. Landy hat trick. Why stop at one?
Summon it up. Come on, hockey gods.
I'm ready. We are going to wrap up the pregame show. Thank you for watching. Join the watch along here. We'll be live for Puck Drop. And then, of course, join us postgame where J. Mike and I will break it all down for you no matter what happens. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show, and we will talk to you in a few minutes.
We all silly like the mayor.